Hello, Namaste, Jai Hind. The topic of discussion today is vested and invested power in people who believe in constitutional values. Well, my friends, I'm talking of democracy. But what was democracy's definition before? It was said that it was for barbarians. It is not for country who would seek for development. It is not for country who has poverty, ignorance, and illiteracy in them. But let me remind you, India started its democracy way in with all these factors. And today, India stands as the largest democracy in the world. India's democracy, India's growth, India's developmental index has seen as a slap to all the Western scholars. They are still confused, perplexed in understanding what of their democracy value or democracy understanding was. Whereas, let me remind you, there are three types of models that we can understand. That first type of model of democracy is representative democracy. J.S. Mill was the owner of this concept of representative democracy, where the power is vested with the representatives. And the second type is participative democracy. Now, this type of democracy is where political participation happens. So, we can call it to be a grassroots level democracy. And the third one could be deliberative democracy or the direct democracy. Now, the deliberative democracy means to be something where discussions happen, where you take deliberate efforts to discuss the particular value and then decide what is good for us and what isn't. So, in sense, we can say democracy itself has to be deliberative by default. Now, my friends, let's see what Amartya Sen had to say to us. He said that democracy itself have to be developmental and development itself has to be democratic. He posed certain index. He did not give his theory only based on economical standard, where he said economy is the where you judge where the development happens or development takes place. He went on to say that there are various factors that depends on development. He said there is social factor to it, there is political factor to it, and there is economical factor to it. Now, when we are stretched in all these spheres, that's when we can say development of a nation has truly occurred. So, developmental index that we speak of has a lot of these factors, and they keep changing depending on time. And as we know, time is constant. But what we can understand today is India's democracy has stretched its arms to its perfection into development of all these factors. So happy democracy to you. Jai Hind.